10,000 fearless on the move. Let's go.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless.
Did you say Mississippi?
Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move.
Once again,
Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi, Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, indeed. Once again, assalamu alaikum and peace be unto you, and welcome to another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, friend, and host, Abdul Shahid Muhammad, on this frigid day with ice and snow and slush and black ice. Man, all over Memphis, Shelby County, North Mississippi, making travel quite treacherous and dangerous, I might add. Brothers and sisters, we begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness to the oneness of God, to the oneness of His prophets, and to the oneness of the scriptures that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. Please allow us to greet you once again with the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum, or may peace be unto you. For our program tonight, brothers and sisters, I really wanted to, before we got out of this month, January, the month that we celebrate the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., programs and rallies and remembrances have taken place throughout the country. And we had one in Holly Springs. I wanted to do this last week, but I had a special guest I wanted to get in. But I wanted to put some light on this because, once again, brothers and sisters, we had the celebration. And I really thank Dr. Stovall for what he had to say in reference to Dr. Martin Luther King, the essence of the man and his legacy. And it struck me that day when I listened to him as I watched the tone and the candor of the room, the response and the attitude, the energy, and how the people were receiving the truth that the brother was speaking, whether you liked how he said it or not, was really irrelevant. If you could listen past how he said it, which wasn't really bad in my humble view, but I could see how some may have taken offense to how he presented it. But if you could get past how you felt about the way he said it, what he said was the absolute truth. So before we go there tonight, that's going to be our program. And we're also going to talk about a few things going on in North Mississippi with regard to what's happening in the wake or the continued problem we're having with the weather and how some businesses are taking advantage of people, brothers and sisters. So Marshall County and Holly Springs, I've been getting some reports and hearing some stories of some stuff going on with these businesses that just ain't right. We're going to make a pass at that tonight too. But before we do, please allow me to get our axioms before you. We always want you to remember these, as we see these as very important. It helps to keep us out of our feelings. You know, sometimes we can be very, very emotional, and we allow our mood to cloud our perceptions. Our emotion clouds our judgment. And we have to learn to suppress how we feel about things, especially when we're being presented with facts, truth, and evidence of a thing, even though we may not like the evidence, the facts, or the truth, even when the truth is not on our side, or the truth is not in harmony with our personal preferences, if you will. So our axioms help us deal with that. An axiom is a statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true to serve as a premise or starting point for further reasoning and arguments. So we open with the first one from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, wherein he writes, quote, "He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity," end quote. I'm reminded of a book written by one Mr. Theodore Lothrop Stoddard in his book entitled The Rising Tide of Color Against White World Supremacy. In that book, he said of the black man, or the Negro as he called us, he said, in so much as he is Christianized, his warlike propensities, in other words, will be suppressed. His savage instincts, he says, will be suppressed, and he would be predisposed to acquiescence to white tutelage. In other words, if we can Christianize the Negro, we can get him to obey us. Well, what brand of Christianity were they giving us? It certainly was not the true teachings of Jesus Christ. Then he said further, in so much as he is Islamized, the Negro's warlike propensities will be inflamed, and he will, in other words, resist white tutelage. He didn't say it like that, but that's what Mr. Stoddard meant. So they wanted to prescribe to us the diameter of knowledge where, quote unquote, Christianity is concerned, so they can dictate the circumference of our activity. And they understood to the degree that they couldn't do that, to that same degree they couldn't control the circumference of our activity. Very interesting. Give you another axiom from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that I've been sharing for the past few broadcasts, and I think we should stay on this one. The minister said to us, quote, "When you see men fall, don't laugh, learn. Learn because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make a mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself," end quote. And I'll round it out with one from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as he quoted Mr. Victor Hugo in the wake of the the riots in the 60s when he said, if the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness. End quote. But you know what, brothers and sisters? When you turn the lights on for some of us, you know, we tend to put our hands over our eyes. Some of us. When you tell us the truth, some of us have a tendency to stick our fingers in our ears. Reminds me of a Quranic verse where it says they stick their fingers into their ears because of the thunder peal for fear of death. You know, because the truth is kind of like thunder in the ears of those who are accustomed to functioning on falsehood, half-truths, and outright lies and benefiting from it. So when they hear the truth, it's kind of like thunder. They put their fingers in their ears, metaphorically speaking. So those are the axioms we want to share with you this evening. And, of course, we're going to have the farm report tonight at about 3 minutes from now. And our sister Lynchelle, she's contacted me. She's caught up in traffic, as a lot of people are, given the weather patterns we're dealing with. So if she's not able to get with us tonight, God willing, we'll get her on the next broadcast. But for right now, we are going to do as we do. We're going to take our break, and we're going to give you our commercial announcements, and you all stand by. We'll be right back.
But attitudes change slowly. There's something that we, as black people, must do to affect that kind of change. But if our people are jobless and in gangs and are the #1 killers of themselves, then how can anyone looking at that picture see us as their equal? So there's an awful lot of work for black leaders, black preachers, black teachers, black organizations to do to lift our people up out of the quagmire that they are in. And that is not on Barack Obama. He has the cross of America to bear, but the raising of our people is still our job to do.
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme Spring Water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Worldwide. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button. Or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio. The official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, indeed. We're back live here with the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother, host, and friend, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. And we got him, y'all. You know, I always got to bring this brother in. We got our brother William, who is ready to give us what's happening with the Farm Report. Brother William.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to start with our national report. As of right now, we're gearing up for our Staple Goods 27, which will begin on March the 22nd. So that was just a few months ago when we had our last Staple Goods delivery. Also, as far as the broccoli is at Muhammad Farms, I'm not sure. I didn't get a report this past Tuesday night on the broccoli. We were hoping that the later part of this month, which is actually now, the broccoli will be ready. But, of course, we have a winter storm coming in with that weather coming in from the Antarctica area. So maybe Doc will have something for us within the next few days or so. I'm hoping he does. And on our local moves, as far as the farming is concerned, we are waiting on our Navy beans that we ordered. That was a special thing going on with the southern region with bags of Navy beans. So the last I heard, which was last week, it was supposed to be about a week to a week, maybe a week and a half. So due to the weather, traffic being held up, because the interstates and highways are kind of bad right now.
Yes, sir.
We're just waiting, right? We're just hoping that everything will work out within the next few days, that we may be able to get something. So it's just a wait and see on that one.
Yes, sir.
So also, yes, sir. And so also on our local State Farm, which I omitted, we just gearing up, making plans. Inshallah, we'll be ready to start out fresh this coming spring, sometime early March, if Allah permits it. And we're just hoping everything works out well.
Yes, sir, man. I'm hoping everything works out well as also, brother. If you would kind of let the public know, brother, that our staple goods ordering that'll begin in March, you said, kind of let the public know how they can play a role in that.
Yes, sir. So for the people in the listening area who may be close to around Holly Springs, Marshall County area, Tupelo, all the way down to West Point, Columbus, Starkville, Aberdeen, Okolona, they can contact me directly. Mm-hmm. And my number is 662-425-2646. That's my business and cell number. And, what we do is we do farm co-oping, whereas we put our money together. We order wholesale in bulk. Dr. Risley, he does the ordering. And once he gets it, after the list comes out for which we make our order, we send it in to him. and he goes and he deals with the vendors at a wholesale broker rate price, and then he sends it back to us. So it's been working pretty good.
Yes.
And there's also there are different people who some of the believers in the Nation of Islam have their own products that they're able to mass produce. Like, for instance, we have Brother Gerald Muhammad down in Jackson, Mississippi. He has a Silk Road dry Navy bean project in which he does that himself, dehydrated Navy bean soup, and you just add hot water to it, and you got a meal, So that's just one of the products that some of our believers have, So
yes, sir.
It's something that we've been pretty successful with. And, of course, we were always told to stock up with dry staple goods by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as you can see right now,
yep.
With the weather being like it is, the grocery stores are empty. It is always wise to listen to a wise man and follow his advice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. I'm glad and I was hoping you would put that caveat in, brother, given the circumstances that many people are dealing with right now in our immediate area, in West Tennessee, North Mississippi, as far down as Tupelo and even further, all the way up the eastern seaboard, and people went to the grocery store only to find the shelves bare. I went to the grocery store, brother. One of my nieces was in need and went by there, brother. They was closing it. They was like, hell, we closed because ain't nothing else to sell. So it would behoove us, brothers and sisters. You can contact Brother William. You can order this past order. We got a little over 2,000 pounds, brother?
Yes, sir. Over 2,000 pounds.
Okay, so this coming staple goods ordering, we want to make it over 3,000 pounds. So, brothers and sisters, contact us. If you can't remember, come by 165 North Memphis Street. Come by on a Sunday at about 10 a.m. We'd be glad to see you. Come and hear what we have to say, and afterwards we'll give you all the information you need about our staple goods program, okay? So, Brother William, is that it, brother? Is that all you have for us tonight?
Yes, sir. That's all for right now.
All right. Thank you, my brother. We want to certainly applaud and appreciate you, my brother, for your reporting. Inshallah, we'll see you on the next doggone broadcast, all right?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, sir.
That was our brother William Muhammad with the Farm Report. We certainly appreciate Brother William. And our sister Lynchelle, she didn't get on, so I'm assuming that, yep, she's still caught up. And, hey, it's like that. It's cold outside. Temperatures dropping right now in Memphis. It's about 33 degrees. I'm getting to the point where I can give y'all a little weather report. I'm trying, y'all. Give y'all some information. They're expecting a severe weather. They got a statement that said these conditions started at 2:28 p.m. Central Standard Time, Thursday, January 29th. And they are keeping us on alert. They're expecting another winter blast. And that's for Memphis. And I can move down to Holly Springs right now. And Holly Springs is mostly cloudy, 34 degrees currently. The winds, the high today in Holly Springs 46. The low is going to be 22. When backing up to Memphis, they said the high today was in Memphis 44 and the low is going to be 24. So those temperatures are going back down below freezing. Y'all watch your pipes. Leave the water leaking. Leave your cabinet doors open under your sinks, and so your pipes can be exposed to the heat of the house, so you won't wake up to a disaster. All right, so that's what we have on the Farm Report. So now we're fixing to shift gears, and we're going to get into our topic for discussion tonight, which is, of course, who is that? Somebody has hit me up. Is that? Oh, that's Brother John C. It's John C. Barnett, the national activist. Brother is busy working. He's in the Carolinas right now. I just saw a press conference he had a little earlier today. But tonight, we're talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. He's not a dreamer, but he was a revolutionary thinker. They made him a dreamer based on a stanza, if you will, in his speech, which is really part of a stump speech that our sister said. I think it was it Mahalia Jackson who told him, tell him about your dream, Doc. She's sitting on the dais. And he went into I Have a Dream. That wasn't the title of the speech, although that's the famous name it's been given. And that's the name our people recognize. But the name of that speech, in truth, was Check Return Marked Insufficient Funds. The entire point of the speech was to shed light on the fact that the Kennedy administration had earmarked funds to prosecute a war on poverty in Black America and poor America. And in the wake of Mr. Kennedy's assassination, Mr. Johnson took office and redirected those funds towards the Vietnam War. And that was the essence of what Dr. King was talking about. And he was planning a poor people's march and complete economic withdrawal because our check bounced. They wrote us a check and it bounced. Okay? So we're going to reclaim. This is what we want to do. And this is in the Final Call newspaper a couple of issues ago. We covered this quite extensively. And the title was Reclaiming the Real Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. amid efforts to erase and sanitize his legacy. And really, in truth, brothers and sisters, this is something we must do for all of our freedom fighters whose legacies are being corrupted, whitewashed and sanitized and made, acceptable and more comfortable and digestible, if you will, for the masses who don't want to point to the real essence of the evolved version of these men. And God willing, we're going to hopefully shed a little light on it, a little more light, and hopefully inspire us to, quit having the same old ho-hum, run-of-the-mill King Day celebrations whereby we get together, we eat, we play a little music, we enjoy each other's company. But in the wake of these celebrations, brothers and sisters, who's picking up the baton, the mantle, and carrying on from where Dr. King left off, from where others left off, from where Marcus Mosiah Garvey left off, from where Ida B. Wells left off, from where Alfred Skip Robinson left off, from where Malcolm X left off. Malcolm X was awakening to the mistake he had made. And the enemy saw that. Malcolm realized he had made an error, and he was on his way back to the Nation of Islam. That's the part of the history of that time period that people don't talk about. Our great ones made mistakes. They started off at a certain level of consciousness. Dr. King woke up from his dream and realized that his dream had become a nightmare. And he realized, he told Harry Belafonte that he feared that he was integrating our people into a burning house. And he said, we now must become firemen. Well, we've been trying to put this fire out for a long time. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan amended that point of view by asking the question during the talk series, is that the panel discussions that Tavis Smiley was having. And the minister asking words, well, what if the fire was set by God? I won't want to be a fireman trying to put that fire out. But suffice it to say, in this past King Day celebration that we had in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and before I get rolling on this real good, let me remind our listening audience first. Let me thank everybody. I see you all on. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in. See you, Sister Bree. I apologize for being a little late sending the notification that I normally send to you. Thank you for tuning in, Brother Keith. I see that Phoenix is on. And who is that? Well, that's an auto-generated name. I see Mr. William Pettigrew. Thank you for tuning in, sir. I see my partner in life, Sister Shahida, is on. Sister Audrey, I see you, and many others on the dashboard, and they got several online that are listening via the World Wide Web. So, brothers and sisters, we thank you and appreciate you all for tuning in to our humble podcast, and we hope and pray that what we share with you will be beneficial, some form of enlightenment, some encouragement, because we're in some dark and troubled times, you all. Yep, some very, very dark and troubled times. So we need a little light. So this little light of ours that we got, we're going to try to let it shine, okay? But at any rate, during the celebration in Holly Springs, Dr. Stovall, former professor at Rust College, he was the keynote speaker for the celebration. We had a parade and marched, and we ended up at Oak Palace, ran by the owners of Care Now, Brother Antoine and Miss Lester. And as usual, our people was well attended, and it's always good. And I don't want you all to take this the wrong way. It's good for us to come together and remember those who struggled for us. But I think, in my humble view, and I think that's what Dr. Stovall was alluding to and, communicating to those who were listening, that we need to really internalize the essence of who Dr. King evolved into. Because the Dr. King of 1968 is not the same as the man who gave the so-called I Have a Dream speech in 1963. He had evolved, and we're going to shed a little light on it. But in order for Dr. King to do what he did, okay, I see you. Somebody told me Brother Phoenix is Brother Melvin. Brother Melvin, assalamu alaikum, sir. Man, thank you for tuning in. He hit me up. He said, that's me, brother. I'm Brother Phoenix. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. But Dr. Stovall was given the essence of who Dr. King evolved to. The man of 1967 and 68 is not the same man of 1963. No more than you are the same person in 2026 that you were 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Are you the same person in 2026 that you were in 2021 or 2020? I would think not. You've evolved to some degree. And people that are involved in the kind of work that Dr. King was involved in, they have to adapt quickly because they are moving and operating with the kind of enemies and in the kind of hostile environment that dictates. They have to learn quickly and move in a very strategic and wise way, because the enemies that Dr. King had internally and externally demanded that he do such. So the first thing I want to talk about is, and I'm talking about this in the context of, or with the thought in mind of internalizing the evolved Dr. King. That's the King that we need to feed to our young people. We don't need to feed them this sanitized version that is celebrated every January, okay? But one thing that we have to understand about a man like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he conquered fear. He had to conquer fear. Men like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, women like Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Nat Turner, men like him, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Alfred Skip Robinson. These kind of people can't be cowardly. They had to conquer fear because they took a stand on behalf of an oppressed people who was under the foot of a serious and most formidable oppressor in the United States government and all of its institutions. The same thing is happening today. And I find it interesting with the goings on in Minnesota. We're seeing another side of white America that we're not accustomed to seeing. And I'm not going into that, but I'm sure you're taking notice as we sit silent and watch, which is what we will continue to do. But these men and women, the first and foremost thing that they had to conquer was fear. They had to get over fear. because fear was one of the primary tools that the oppressor used to keep us in check. And they do the same thing today. In fact, Dr. Casson, one of their scholars, said lynching was a necessary evil to maintain the social order of the South. Not that, the person did anything, but just on principle. Periodically, they just hung a black man and put him on display so that black people will keep in the foremost of their thinking the pecking order and the consequences of stepping out of that line. They still do it today, especially in Mississippi and down in the Delta. It's still a regular practice. It's just updated and more sophisticated. But these men and women had to first conquer fear. I'm reminded of a scripture that teaches that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. So in conjunction with overcoming fear, and the thing that actually allows us to conquer fear is love. Not love in this emotional feeling that as defined by this world. No, we're not talking about love in the context of, based solely on a feeling. That which you love can evoke emotion. In fact, we're taught that love is the mother of emotion. But we're talking about love in the sense of that creative force that created heaven and earth and all that we see. That dutiful love. That love that causes us to see past the veil of the flesh and see the humanity of people. So these men, Dr. King had a love for us, a love for truth, a love for God. And you will find when you study men like Dr. King, men like Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Ida B. Wells, Nat Turner, the list goes on. Medgar Evers, Skip Robinson, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fard Muhammad, a man came 9,000 miles to seek and save a people. That's documented. That's not hyperbole. That's not fiction or myth, as some like to, try to characterize him and his message as myth. No, it's actual fact. The United States government documented that a man came, not a spirit, not a spook, not an apparition, not, nothing mysterious, but a human being came and taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad what he taught him. But he came alone, fearless. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stood up fearless. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stands fearless. Sister Ida B. Wells stood up fearless. Alfred Skip Robinson stood up fearless. Fannie Lou Hamer stood up fearless. Martin Luther King, fearless. And that is what's missing with most of us, quote unquote, in leadership. There's no fearlessness. And where there is a lack of fearlessness and fear permeates when you get to a certain level, then there is an absence of love. Because if you don't love black people enough or deeply enough, fear will overcome you at a certain point and the desire to do what is in the best interest. And there are many of us in black leadership, we want good for our people. Yeah, of course we want good. But the question is, what are we prepared to do? I'm reminded of a movie, The Untouchables. And I remember the scene where Sean Connery was playing one of the officers. Kevin Costner was playing, part of the police detective. And Frank Nitti had just shot up Sean Connery. And he was asking him, what are you prepared to do? You want to get Al Capone? What are you prepared to do? So the question for us is, what are we prepared to do? The scripture gives guidelines for the shepherd. The good shepherd, it gives the adjective good shepherd. And the shepherds that are not good are called hirelings. When the wolf comes, they run off and leave the flock. But the scripture teaches that the good shepherd lays down his life for the flock. Well, that's literal and it's spiritual. Because giving up your life for the flock means being willing to experience some level of discomfort. And, you know, most of us brothers and sisters, we just don't want to be inconvenienced. We want to struggle for black folk. We want good for our people, but we're not willing to be inconvenienced or, you know, take a hit. Talking about take one for the team. No, we ain't willing. We're not, most of us are not willing to do that. And we're not willing to face, you know, the potentiality of angering the enemy to the point to where we get threatened or face clear and present danger. Well, there's somebody present that I'm not going to get into right now. I want to get into this thing with Dr. King, but I got some words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that I want to play for us, that I want us to consider. His words about Dr. Martin Luther King. I actually have two. I may play them both, but I'm definitely going to play this first one. And it's talking about why Dr. King was really killed. Why did they really kill Dr. King? Let me get to where the minister, I had it queued up and I done. What did you do, brother? Hold on. Let's back out of here. And y'all be patient with your brother. I'm going to pull up the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want you to hear this excerpt from him on Dr. King. And it's very important. And if you all would be so kind, here we are. This is what I'm looking for. This message to meeting of independence. Where is it? Where did it go? Lord have mercy. Why did they kill Dr. King? Where is it? Hold on. Let me take these glasses off. I may be able to see a little better. But brothers and sisters, while I look and find this, we have to get a deeper understanding of not just Dr. Martin Luther King for the purpose of understanding it. It should serve as the spiritual nourishment for us to feed on and for our young people to feed on, that they may take up and pick up where these great ones left off and continue the fight. The problem with most of us, brothers and sisters, we wear the quote unquote liberation movement like an exterior garment when it really needs to be internalized. Yep. It really needs to be internalized. But we wear it like a garment. And this is why things are not changing the way we want them to change. Okay, here we are. It's why Dr. Martin Luther King was really assassinated. These are words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I want you to just take a listen, and then we'll come back and discuss further. Okay, that's not working. What is going on here today? Okay, yeah, I'm still getting audio, but
But in the last year of his life,
You should read Tavis Smiley's book on the death of a king. And the preachers turned on Doc. Wait now. See, some of you are angry with me, thinking I'm trying to steal Dr. King's legacy. Hell no. Don't put that on me. And don't let the white man put that on you so you could put that on me. I'm raising Dr. King because it is wrong for you to think that that man died because he had a dream. That man was a revolutionary thinker in the last days of his life. Some of his inner circle turned on him. They didn't agree with him talking against the war in Vietnam. He was hurting that his own staff, some of them disagreed with him. Then churches denied him. They didn't want him in their pulpit. Now it's easy to put his picture up and talk that crap about how you love him. You a damn liar if you loved him. I want you to listen. If you loved him, why did you let the writers of history write him down as a dreamer and pacify you with all these streets and boulevards named after him? But if you read his life in the last 2 years of his life, he met with my teacher. They had a beautiful discussion, February 66. I don't know what they talked about, but I know my teacher. He loved Dr. King, but he showed him prophecy. He showed him where we are to separate from this enemy and not be integrated into him, as Moses didn't integrate the children of Israel into Pharaoh. So in that last night, when he said, I want to get the language straight tonight, he stopped talking Negro and began talking black. He even agreed that separation might be better for us for a while. Like a people sick or diseased, you take them out of the public and you heal them. And then you send them back to the world. I didn't know these were things that Dr. King was saying. And when I read it, I said, this man, you must know the reality of Dr. King. He's more than a dreamer. And don't you let them throw the dream speech on you from 63. Let them play for you the speech that he made in New York City when he condemned the hypocrisy of the Johnson government that's fighting a war in Vietnam against poor people there and practicing violence, then want Dr. King to preach nonviolence to us while they're training you to kill people that never did nothing to you overseas.
In 1960.
Okay, now that's one of them. that I wanted you to listen to, and the other one started. But did you hear, and I'm sure you did, how Dr. King was treated by black people, by black clergy, black churches, even members of his inner circle, when he ran afoul of the United States government by talking about and speaking against the Vietnam War? So that brings into question those who were with him. Yeah, they were with him up to a certain point, but they did not have the fearlessness that he had to continue the course in spite of being threatened. If you remember in his last speech, he said, "I'm not fearing any man," letting you know clearly the man was under threat and he wasn't going to allow his fear to stop him. And I think that is the biggest Achilles heel of black leadership today. We are afraid of discomfort. We are afraid of losing position. We are afraid of losing status. We are afraid of losing a job. We are afraid of and don't want discomfort, but we want our issues addressed. There is no nation of people that ever got free without having to face and overcome their fear of an oppressor. This nation, the United States of America that we know today, had to overcome their fear of the colonial powers or the English powers that kept them under control. At some point, they had to make a sacrifice to break free. But our plight is a bit different because whether we know it or not, brothers and sisters, if we listen to a man like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, as he talks about what is the force that's moving him. I know we hear a lot of people say, well, God is this and that in my life, and God and my Lord, and the Lord told me to tell you this, that, and the third. But I'm quite sure those of you that have listened at any length to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he will readily say to us that he has a power that's backing him that is not the God that we've been taught. This abstract, immaterial, formless understanding of God. No, he doesn't, and we who follow him don't subscribe to God as an abstract. We see God as an anthropomorphic reality, as the scripture describes him, and he's saying that that is the power that is backing him, that one of whom the scriptures speak that would come from the east to the west. Because the God knows that the enemy makes all afraid. But today the enemy is afraid. In fact, America's generals, at a hearing they had in recent months, where they are talking about and they are now admitting that what people used to mock us about what they used to call UFOs, that they now call UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, where we used to be mocked about it, the United States government is now admitting it exists. You find it in the Bible in the book of Ezekiel. It's a real reality. The Bible calls it a wheel in the middle of the air. And all of the America's generals who know it's out there and have been documenting it, observing it, her airline and military aircraft pilots have testified. They've been on CNN. They've been on 60 Minutes. This is real. You don't have to accept it. I don't have to accept it. It's irrelevant whether you agree or not. Really doesn't matter. But you can't dismiss the fact that it's real. You can continue to mock. You can make light. You can laugh. You can joke. You can do memes. You can do all of that. But that's not going to dismiss the fact that the government under which we are now living has fully acknowledged the reality of them, and they have said, all of their generals, that they are afraid of what they see. So if they are afraid, that gives us more encouragement to not be afraid. And that's why, by God's grace, we're empowered to speak with a little more surety and matter of factness, because we have one that is teaching us. And if we would obey and follow the guidance given to us, there is no fear for us, nor shall we grieve. That's what the Quran teaches. So what we're saying in the suggestion, I'm on this fear piece intentionally for a minute, because that is a huge problem in black leadership. We are afraid. Because when the enemy sees that we're trying to take a free step, we're trying to do something in the best interest of our community, the first thing that they do to you is try to make you afraid. They start out with veiled threats. And I can say, and I know she don't mind, our sister in Holly Springs trying to start the chamber, which she started. Yes, they tried to make that sister afraid. Veiled threats. But she kept pushing. She didn't punk out. Whereas many of us will go, well, I don't want to start no trouble. How is it starting trouble to do what is in the best interest of a community of people, as long as what is being done is not to the detriment of anybody else? But these men overcame fear. Now, I want to go to the Final Call newspaper. And when I come back, after reading what I'm about to read to you, I'm going to play the other excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on what he had to say about Dr. King. I think it's very important. Because I'm doing this, brothers and sisters, because we're at a point right now. If we're paying good enough attention to what's happening in the United States of America, politically, economically, geopolitically, national politics, the social fabric of the country, if we're just paying attention, then what we see happening should instruct us. If we are just, a half-hearted student of history alone, these times are not unfamiliar. America has seen times like this before. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, he says, history, above all our studies, is best qualified and most attractive to reward our research. So right now, some of us are still taking an old civil rights era mindset and approach to modern day problems. Not going to work. We will not get the result that we think we're not getting it. But let me read to you before we take our break. We're going to break at the top of the hour, 7:59, right about 8 o'clock, maybe a little bit thereafter, because I'm going to read this to you. It's from the Final Call. As you heard in the excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, see, when they erase and sanitize the legacy of men like Dr. King, they take out the revolutionary and nationalistic aspects of their message, and those aspects that would inspire us to throw off the yoke of tyranny and oppression and white supremacy. They don't want us to know that was a real and prominent part of the thinking of a man like Dr. Martin Luther King that he developed and evolved into. Because early in the early 60s, Dr. King used to use the word Negroes. But if you notice towards the latter part of his life, particularly beginning in the 66, 67, 68, he started using the word black. Where did he get that from? Because the minister mentioned that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met with Dr. King. And most of us, we really don't know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met with Dr. King on February 24th, 1966. And that was one of two meetings. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had something to say about his encounter with Dr. King. I wish I had gotten the recording. I just thought about it just now. I've heard it. What the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to say with his meeting about Dr. King. He said in words, he's going to take the wisdom that he was giving him. He was going to wake up, and Dr. King was waking up. He was saying that he feared that his dream had become a nightmare and that he was integrating his people into a burning house. Dr. King was a theologian. The man understood scripture. And as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in the excerpt, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad showed him prophecy, whereas he's not to integrate. We are not to integrate into America's house. And that is the part that most of us don't want to accept. Just like the children of Israel, they refused to separate from Pharaoh. And as I remember our dear sister Ava Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with her, she was doing a separation town talk tour, which I think we need to probably pick that mantle up again at the proper time and under the proper guidance. Yeah. But at any rate, we're going to take a break. I just wanted to read that part to you. It's in the final call. That's what I was reading. That Dr. King and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad met with Dr. King on February the 24th, 1966. I was 2 years old then. Had just turned 2 on February 11th. And that was 2 days before Savior's Day in 1966. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And I'm going to play that second excerpt of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. And I really want us to really consider it and really think about what we're saying here. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back.
Again, making my head spin like a disc in a Nickelodeon. Only pole position like she's standing on a podium. Dressed like a bohemian, small frame, one size down from a medium. You know the type of woman the brothers describe as premium. Don't want to approach in case you think you a comedian. So you try to chill in the back like a chameleon. It never matters what outfit she wear, I'm always feeling them. Some say she half Filipino and Armenian. I don't really know, it's like I'm guessing her ingredients. All I know is that she take me high like I'm on helium. Kind of girl to make you forget any woman previous. Smile that is devious, but acting like I never seen her. She a Mercedes, don't you pull up in a Cortina. She Air Jordan, don't you pull up in no torn feelers. And yo, I mean this, she's something out of fairy tale enchanting. Just like it's spelled, it mesmerizes very well. They say she's feeling me, but really, I can never tell.
Ooh, girl, I wanna know what's in your headspace. You're out of this world, move a little bit closer. Cocoa butter, baby, come and put your cup on my...
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme Spring Water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And yes, indeed, we are back. And once again, I'm your brother, your host, your friend, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We are still talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, and I want to get to another excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm having some technical issues, and I just realized there was some silence for a few seconds when there should not have been silence, because I have things queued up properly. At least I thought I did, but I guess I need to do a little bit better job. But I want you to listen at a second excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan dealing with Dr. Martin Luther King. And this one is from an excerpt from a 52-part lecture series the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did in 2013. So see if I can get this queued up properly.
In
Here we go.
1967, Dr. King presented a talk to the leaders and members of SCLC. And that talk was titled, "The Crisis in America's Cities, an analysis of social disorder and a plan of action against poverty, discrimination, and racism in urban America." This address was made August 15th, 1967, in Atlanta, Georgia, 4 years after the famous I Have a Dream speech on the Washington Mall. Let us listen to his words and reflect. Dr. King said, "A million words will be written and spoken to dissect the ghetto outbreaks, but for a perceptive and vivid expression of culpability, I would submit 2 sentences written a century ago, at that time, by Victor Hugo." And he quoted Mr. Hugo in these words: "If the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness." End quote. Dr. King goes on to say, "The policy makers of the white society have caused the darkness. They created discrimination. They created slums. They perpetuate unemployment, ignorance, and poverty. It is incontestable and deplorable that Negroes have committed crimes, but they are derivative crimes. They are born of the greater crimes of the white society. When we ask Negroes to abide by the law, let us also declare that the white man does not abide by law in the ghettos. Day in and day out, he violates welfare laws to deprive the poor of their meager allotments. He flagrantly violates building codes and regulations. His police make a mockery of the law. He violates laws on equal employment and education and the provisions for civil services. The slums are the handiwork of a vicious system of the white society. Negroes live in them, but do not make them any more than a prisoner makes a prison." Dr. King went on to say, "Let us say it boldly, that if the total slum violations of law by the white man over the years were calculated and were compared with the law-breaking of a few days of riots, the hardened criminal would be the white man." He went on to say the second major cause of the crisis in the inner cities is unemployment, because it furnishes the bulk of the shock troops. Government figures reveal that the rate of unemployment for Negroes runs as high as 15%, and some cities, and for youth, up to 30 and 40%. It is not accidental that the major actors in all the outbreaks were the youth, with most of their lives yet to live. The slamming of doors in their faces could be expected to induce rage and rebellion. This is especially true when a boastful nation, while neglecting them, gloats over its wealth, power, and world preeminence. Yet, almost 40% of Negro youth waste their barren lives standing on street corners. Has anything changed? My dear President Obama and black people, in 50 years, Has anything really changed? Dr. King went on to say, the third cause of what is going on in the inner city is discrimination, which pervades all experiences of Negro or black life. It pushes the Negro off the economic ladder after he has ascended a few rungs. It stultifies his initiative and insults his being. Even the few Negroes who realize economic security do not attain respect and dignity because on upper levels, discrimination closes different doors to them. Discrimination is a hellhound that gnaws at Negroes in every waking moment of their lives to remind them that the lie of their inferiority is accepted as truth in the society dominating them. And the fourth cause, Dr. King went on to say, of the condition of the inner cities is the war in Vietnam. He said, Negroes are not only conscripted in double measure for combat, but they are told the billions needed for remaking their lives are necessary for foreign intervention. Democracy at home is starved to seek a spurious democracy abroad. Dictators, oligarchies are given our resources to perpetuate their rule at the rate of $80 million per day, but we cannot afford to spend 10% of this on anti-poverty programs. There has never been an American war opposed by so many. Opposition has now ascended to a clear majority of Americans and merges with the overwhelming majority of the world. The immoral, insane pursuit of conquest against the will of the people has to diminish respect for government. Among those deprived by government, the disrespect degenerates into contempt and cynicism. In testifying before the Senate last December, Dr. King said, "The bombs in Vietnam explode at home. The security we profess to seek in foreign adventures, we will lose in our decaying cities." And what is the respect level of government today? The respect level of the government of the United States has gone down, the Congress to 14%, the President to 35 to 40%, the Supreme Court less than that. This is the Dr. King that was murdered 1 year later. This is the Dr. King that saw the hypocrisy of America. This is the Dr. King that is memorialized in a statue on the mall, frozen in stone like Lincoln and Jefferson and Washington. But the words of Lincoln are in history for the American people to feed on. The words of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington are also in books for the American people to feed on. But the American people are feeding on a dream speech from Dr. King and missing the point of the hypocrisy of a promissory note that yet remains unfulfilled. This is the Dr. King that was assassinated. Well, should out of this march President Obama pursue a jobs bill? Remember the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. America cannot create enough jobs for her own white unemployed. The present proposed jobs bill was only to create approximately 3 million jobs. But there are over 20 million Americans now that have no jobs or minimal jobs. So how will that jobs bill help us when we are last hired and first fired? We have to think beyond government. Of course, government has a responsibility. But we have to come up with the plan to end our own suffering and help ourselves, then seek government's help. But we can do it from the $1.1 trillion that we get out of the American economy if that money were utilized properly.
Okay. Now, if you were listening, and I hope you certainly were, think of what the minister just said in the context of now. They just reported tonight that hundreds of jobs are being cut from some major companies, one of which is Nike. Now, when was the last time you heard Nike cutting jobs? I think another one is Amazon. And a lot of major carriers are cutting jobs. My understanding, well, I can't remember if they said this name, so I'm not going to say it. But suffice it to say, just tonight on the news, they're cutting jobs, hundreds of them. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, as he spoke, he talked about how spending money was the issue. Dr. King, he was talking about the billions that they were spending to pursue conquest while not having money to spend on the poor. Think about that in the context of right now. Do you understand the money it takes? Think about his words in the context of now. The immoral and insane, he called it, Dr. King, pursuit of conquest. He said the bombs in Vietnam explode at home. So what are we looking at, brothers and sisters? And something that the minister didn't say in that excerpt that he has said repeatedly, that the 4 great judgments that God will use in this time will be rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. And he advised us to watch the weather. Now, we can make light of that and dismiss it. But if you're just a student of history, particularly a student of scripture, all of the nations that existed before America, the people responded the same way to their messengers. They took a thumb their nose at him kind of posture and just didn't give any weight to what he was saying. But all of them met exactly what he told them was coming. All of them. Yet we say we are believers in the sacred texts of Bible and Holy Quran. That's what we say now. I really didn't intend to go in this direction with this, but I'm here. So now we're looking and should be looking at what's happening now through the lens of Scripture. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in my humble estimation, and by the polls that have been taken for years in Black America and America in general, most of us say to the tune of 70+% that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying things that we need to hear. He's saying things that are good for the country. And he's not saying them out of spite and anger or because he wants America to go the way and us to go the way of the peoples and nations of old. God doesn't raise somebody, a servant, to preach doom and gloom with delight and with the expectation of it coming to pass. No, it's to warn and give guidance to hopefully guide the people away from God's wrath, that they don't have to suffer it. That's why, if God did not want the nation that he's warning to heed the warning, why would he warn them at all? Just let them go where they're already headed to. So, brothers and sisters, I just thought tonight that we really should highlight Dr. Martin Luther King, and there's a lot more to him. This is just a thumbnail sketch of a man who grew way, way beyond I Have a Dream. There's some other things that I have read about Dr. Martin Luther King and his thinking post the 1963 march, and particularly post his meeting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that they don't ever talk about. Most of us don't even know the meeting took place between the two men. There are photographs of him with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad all over the internet. Did you ever wonder, well, what were they talking about? And it ain't looked like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the one talking in the photos. And Dr. King is listening. So have you ever wondered, what did he say to him? What was he saying? What point was he making? So, brothers and sisters, I do think that going forward, we should talk more about planning and doing things during the time of Dr. King's birth anniversary that he was working on. Economic development was one of the main things. It was economics. It was prosecuting a war on poverty. And I said before I get out of here, so I'm going to go over for about 5 minutes, if y'all don't mind. The second part that I wanted to kind of get to, that I really wanted to just fly over, if you will, not really get into detail because it really don't take much. It's really unfortunate that we're getting reports, brothers and sisters, that in Marshall County, businesses are now gouging gas stations. I was looking at a video a lady posted online. She was lamenting the fact that one gas station had changed its price from like $2.90 something a gallon to $3.29 within a few minutes. And the gas lines, were long. People trying to get gas. Gas stations are out of gas in North Mississippi areas, certain places in North Mississippi. It's hard to get gas. The roads are almost impassable. Meanwhile, you got merchants taking advantage of a difficult time of the people. And see, this is what happens to small communities like Marshall County and Holly Springs that happen to be predominantly black. They get exploited. We pray about it. Yes, and we should pray about it. We ask God to help. Yes, and we should. And God is willing to help. But I kind of think we forget that along with God's help, the prerequisite for getting it is to first help yourself. Isn't that what we say? God helps those who help themselves. So who's going to finally step forward to understand that it's going to take a unified effort, an agenda, some objectives, and like they hurt us, the way they hurt us with that kind of behavior, we should make their behind hurt by just stop patronizing them. It is the height of disrespect to have a marijuana dispensary on a street named Ida B. Wells. I want you all to just think about that. The level of exploitation of us as black folk. And we can say, well, the law let them do it. Well, look, when other ethnic groups don't want certain elements in their community, they don't care about the law. The law may allow you to do it, but we don't have to shop with you. And I question whether or not they follow the ordinances, because I wonder how and what proximity are they to the nearest house of worship. You got to be, from my understanding, at least 1,000 feet away. Are they that far away from the nearest house of worship? Think somebody need to go measure it. But the irony is the people that own this marijuana dispensary smoke shop that's dispensing free vape pens, at least they were. I don't know if they're still giving them away free. They were giving away free vape pens. Our children in Marshall County, and particularly in Holly Springs, one of the school administrators, well, not an administrators, one of the school workers that work at the school was sharing with me that they're starting to have a problem with the students having vape pens all of a sudden. These are juveniles. So as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would call them, the merchants of death. They dump the filth in our community. We put it in our bodies. They laugh all the way to the bank. They extract the wealth from our community and leave us with addiction and crime. But the unmitigated gall, and I really, to some degree, a large degree, don't blame them. How is it that those who lead us would allow such a thing? You mean to tell me it's okay to sell weed on Ida B. Wells? That's cool. Y'all cool with that. And we're supposed to just shut up and don't say anything about it. Let somebody else do it. No, Abdul Shahid's going to say something about it. I'm going to say it again. Holly Springs and Marshall County, you are cool. You are okay with someone selling marijuana on Ida B. Wells Boulevard in the heart of the black community, just about. You cool with that? Okay, that speaks volumes if you are. If you don't see a problem with that, and if you don't feel the necessity to begin to contest that and to call our people away from it, these exploiters that hurt us and they feel no pain, they get the gain, they get the money, they go and build their community and leave ours in a wretched condition, leave our people full of addiction and sickness and illness as a result of consuming those products. Meanwhile, they send their children to college and build their beautiful homes and communities. Meanwhile, ours continue to decay. You see them at none of the community meetings. I didn't see them at the ML King celebration. Did you? Oh, it's just business. Oh, well, see, you just hate. No, not just hating. I tell you what, if I'm hating, ask other communities, are they cool with having them have a weed dispensary in their community? And you know the answer to that. And we're back to the beginning of this program when I said the biggest Achilles heel of black leadership today, I don't care where you go, is fear and inordinate self-interest. As long as they're doing good and got their nice house and car, and I'm not shading anyone, brothers and sisters, because all of us should be ashamed of ourselves to allow that kind of thing to go on in Holly Springs Marshall County, uncontested. Uncontested. So I wanted to get that in. That's what's happening in Holly Springs and Marshall County. And people are just as quiet. At least I hadn't heard anything about it. Nobody said, I guess we like getting high. And I got in mind, I've been intending to get my brother on here to tell you what the weed is doing to you. That thing you call loud. Yeah. I'm going to bring my brother on so he can tell you scientifically, based on research, what today's strain of quote unquote marijuana is doing to us who consume it. Well, I don't care what it's doing. Okay, well, you might care after you hear what it tells you it's doing to us. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, let me give you a thanks of gratitude for choosing to be with us tonight. I applaud you. I see it, man. Everybody stayed on too. Wow. I guess what we shared was worth taking time out to hear. But brothers and sisters, we wanted to take this message and this podcast throughout the state of Mississippi. God willing, I'm going to be getting some flyers. And those of you that are on, I want you to get some in your hand. I want you to come by 165 North Memphis Street and let everybody know. I want you to pass them out and tell people, just tune in. Matter of fact, when I send the flyer out, the electronic one, why don't you just share it with all of your contacts? Because this platform, it cost. And in the past few years, we've been kind of shouldering the expense. It don't cost much per year. It's less than $1,000 a year to run this podcast. I don't have any intentions on monetizing it and, making money. They monetize podcasts. They say, hit the subscribe button, and they get a bunch of sponsors, and then the sponsors come in and dictate the content. No, I don't want that. We're going to begin to solicit you to just help keep us on the air. That's all. Not pay nobody's salary. No. Just help keep us on the air. And you'll hear more about that. And we'll be sending you information on how to support if you want to support. It don't take much. It don't take much at all. If 10 people gave me $100, that'd take care of it. 20 people gave 50. Ain't that something? Or a certain number of people gave 20 or 30. If we can get 1,000 people to give $1, find me 1,000 people give $1. That'll take care of us for a whole year. I think we can do it. I'm going to solicit Holly Springs and Marshall County to find 1,000 people to give $1 toward this podcast. And in addition to that, those same 1,000 people, I'm going to ask them to give $2 a week towards that great Final Call newspaper. Brothers and sisters, subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. If you want to deliver it to your home, give us a call at 662-252-8999 right there in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and we'll deliver it to your door. Or you can send us a line at P.O. Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. Come by 165 North Memphis Street or North Ida B. Wells and support our Bean Pie program. We can get you that teeny beanie for a small donation. Helps to keep our ministry up and running. You can send me an email at dremuhammad1@gmail.com if you want more information about the Holly Springs Study Group. And once again, I want to get 1,000 of you to subscribe to the Final Call. And I also want to give you an update on the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. It's actually located at 6075 Winchester Avenue inside the Hickory Ridge Mall here in Memphis. Also got a location inside of the Painted Tree located at 8045 Giacosa Plaza. Or as the commercial jingle says, you can log on and pay online at order online, I should say, at theurbanindulgence.com. Okay, so our next meeting in Holly Springs, we're going to start inviting you out over this podcast as well. Come and be with us every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock at 165 North Ida B. Wells, formerly known as Memphis Street. Yours truly will be delivering a message. And this coming Sunday, we will be receiving a message from our national headquarters out of Chicago, Illinois, the Nation of Islam flagship mosque, Mariam, there in Chicago. We will be tuning in via webcast. Come and join us this Sunday morning at 10 a.m. The doors open at 9:30. We hope to see you there. So, brothers and sisters, at this time, we want you to always remember, and don't ever forget that, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said to us, that no one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad, and this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition. Always, always remember, family, that self-improvement, I'm going to say it again, it starts with the self. Self-improvement is the basis for community development. Till next time, we leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace, of assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the massive
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the